My name is Jeff Neidig. I'm a volunteer facilitator with the Newcomerstown Community Action Network, which is a satellite of the Anti-Drug Coalition of Tuscarawas County. Our problem of practice was that 7% of the youth in Newcomerstown, ages 14 to 18, reportedly used and misused prescription drugs in the 30 days prior to the survey. The tools that we used to overcome our obstacles were, one, the project coordinator from the Tuscarawas County Anti-Drug Coalition. Very many resources they used and gave to us. Trainings that we had. I personally went to the opiate conference, CADCA. We had trainings for our youth-led groups. We had training for the Newcomerstown Community Action Network. We used the SPF website and resources from OSED, OCAM, and Ohio Moss. The parts of the strategic planning process that we'll take with us after this initiative is over is the use of qualitative and quantitative data, the focus groups that we will be just remembering the key information we received from those, and really just looking at evidence-based practices and strategies that will be used for youth-led prevention efforts. Our coalition will evaluate the strategies through a formative evaluation tool. We will also use that to look at the campaign that we use, the media campaign, how effective that was in addressing the youth substance use, and really just using all the tools that are available on the SPF website. Well, ultimately, we will know that our campaign has been successful when we see that the parents have received the 2 mailers that we are creating. They will get one in June and then in August. We also know by looking at the traffic that we see on the website that they're being pointed to for the Newcomerstown schools. We are creating a website with resources on the Newcomerstown school website, and also traffic that we build to the Anti-Drug Coalition's website. The parts of the evaluation process that we will take with us is the formative evaluation form for environmental strategies. We will use this in our planning and work forward, track our outcomes and our efforts, and we will just know that that's very helpful in our prevention education. Cultural competence became very evident to be a very important part of the process throughout it. When we looked at the data that we collected, we looked at the strategies we were going to take for our root cause and media campaigns. We looked at what is the data showing, what is the process showing, and then what are we as a community thinking that's going to work for us. So those two came to head quite often in the process. Through the survey, through the community readiness survey that we did, we saw that there was a difference between what the leadership saw as an issue and what the community saw as an issue. And those two differences we had to sort out. Was the community ready for what we thought they should be ready for? We felt that the community knowledge of the information was low, so we had to come up with a strategy on making that a priority in their lives to understand, to learn, and to take action on. The aspect of the SPF that required the most attention for the cultural competence was the planning phase. When we looked at the whole component of evidence-based practice and how we were going to approach this with a positive message, there was conflict there looking at, we wanted to make it a urgent, you must take action type of thing, and that's what our school system showed. They were a big part of this, very good feedback, and when we brought an evaluation team, a mentoring team in to really go through this process to hash it out, so to speak, the school members were very, very adamant about making it urgent and compelling message. It could be a positive message, yes, but it had to be urgent because of the lifestyle and issues in Appalachia, in Tuscarawas County. We just felt they needed to see that as a priority to take action on. The elements of the SPF initiative that we're going to really take with us is the ideas and the relationships. Those are 2 elements that really started us out from the beginning as a coalition, looking at ideas on what we could do, and then building those relationships. We had our core group together early on, buying into the process, and not only relationships within the coalition itself, but the relationship that we have within our community. And from a sustainability standpoint, we'll talk about it's very important to have those relationships within our community with each other, with families, but also with businesses and organizations to really pull upon all the resources and build capacity moving forward. Our coalition decided on what elements to sustain just by looking at where we were before and where we came to. We really discussed them and felt that just the fact that we were born out of idea sharing and born out of the relationships that we have in our community, we just felt those two elements were the most important moving forward. The most important lesson we learned was that this process works. You had to be patient with it. You have to understand it and be continually looking back on what you did and realizing that we're all busy. We're all doing volunteer work and doing work in our own community, our own professions, our own jobs, etc. And if we go through this process, we can find a root cause of an item and then take action with it. And it may not be the root cause we think it is. We might not think it's the item that it is, but it helps be a community issue, not necessarily our issue as a group of leaders. Some tips, hints, ideas which we'd had early on would have been the formative evaluation and how we could have used that to maybe strengthen our media outreach in different areas that we could share the message with. Another hint to let you know is, it is a process. You have to be patient. I'll say that over and over again. And when it got to the end, we were ready to get things going. We had to be patient. We had to work through each step, each phase, to make sure each one was done correctly. We wanted to make sure that we were addressing substance use in the youth and doing it effectively. So be patient. Have some of those tools and know the whole process. Don't just start with the first phase and say, let's do this phase and move on. Know all the phases, know what each one does to build upon the previous one so that you have all the tools when you start out. The current strengths of the coalition in Newcomerstown that's going to really help sustain where we're going after this SPF and in the future with our work with the Anti-Drug Coalition of Tuscarawas County really has to do with our community connections. Whatever problem might be brought to us, whatever issue that we want to address, whatever process we want to take to do that is going to rely on the community connections that we have down there. We're going to know who, the what, the where, and the why, and connections of who to talk to. We have a great connection with our village council, to our schools, to the arts department and arts center in our community. And we just know that each project that we might take on in the future, we can rely on each one of those and draw upon their strengths, their connections, and leverage all that for future growth of the coalition.